Oh, we're going to get into this subject of protein. How much protein is too much? How much protein is too little? And the most rock solid way to measure the amount of protein. I don't care what anybody else says. This is the perfect way. And stay tuned. Welcome, everyone, to my crazy life where I've got a barn being built and a house being built and a little gym being built all at the same time. Okay, let's get into this subject of protein because I have the most ironclad way to really figure out what the individual should be consuming because these mathematical equations are garbage. They're not garbanzo beans, they are garbage. Now, this subject, it keeps haunting me on the amount of protein because there's a rumor that when you go through menopause, like I have because I am now 57, that you need more protein. Number one, bullshit. Nonsense. The problem isn't just the age, right? Oh, you're postmenopause and you're this age, so let's start cramming down the protein. No, it is all about the strength of your gut wall. This is the most important concept to start off with when trying to measure a protein. What do I mean by knowing the strength of your gut wall? Small intestinal wall. Because if you're malabsorptive and you're not absorbing the protein, of course, your requirement for protein will go up. This whole malabsorption thing, it's huge. So many people, if you look at your urine, can see foamy, bubbly urine. And this means you're not absorbing all the amino acids from the meat that you're eating. And if you're not absorbing the amino acids, you're not absorbing minerals as well. It's a huge problem with people to be protein deficient. So look at your urine, number one. If you don't have foamy urine, and you have enough stomach acid and peptides and protease, the digestive enzymes in the stomach acid to break down protein, you're also going to uptake and use that protein. If you exercise and sleep well, you also are going to uptake and use your protein. If your blood sugar is not running too crazy high, you will also uptake and use that protein. And if you're insulin sensitive, you're going to uptake, which is one of the huge ones, insulin sensitivity. That's how you build muscle. The requirement for protein goes down because insulin is the driver of amino acids into the muscle cell. So if you're insulin sensitive, you only need that much protein to drive the protein to go into the cell so you can grow that muscle. And, well, if you are insulin resistant, yes, your protein requirement is probably going to be a little bit more. And since you're finding people as they get older to be insulin resistant, that's where this whole you need more protein garbage came from, in my opinion. So, go to bed early, chew your food slowly, be patient, rotate, get rid of the coffee, anything that's going to irritate the gut lining, and eat some organ meats so you can seal up and heal that gut wall and need less protein to stay healthy. Get your muscles growing, your minerals to be absorbed, and not have that foamy urine. So what are the signs of when you're consuming too much protein? Well, your urine smells like ammonia. You smell like bologna. Your skin smells like bologna. I know, it's gross. Like a cold cut. Like ham. Not a good look or smell. You're gonna gain some weight blood sugar is going to spike. Also, you'll have signs of back pain, too much protein, weight gain. That's because the blood sugar is spiking. Constipation. Some people develop high iron, high B12 from eating too much protein. Gout from too much protein. There's a lot of things you can develop from eating too much protein. It's not safe at all. So stop trying to use protein like it's pasta, because it's not. I hear my horse outside the window. Oh no, that's my dog growling. Oh, these damn animals. And what are the signs of eating too little protein? Well, you might pop a hot flash. Blood sugar dysregulation. Difficulties growing muscle. Yeah, sometimes the osteopenia, osteoporosis, potassium deficiencies, weakness, muscle weakness at the gym. Yeah, it's a bad look when your protein is too low, and you can kind of see it on people. They're underweight typically, or they're overweight because they're consuming too many carbs with the absence of eating too little protein. But a lot of you people who are afraid of gaining weight will eat too little of everything. That's not good. But let's talk about the ironclad way that you can test how much protein the individual needs to be in a state of homeostatic balance. By using a glucometer. Forget what all these freaking gurus say about pounding 1-2 pounds of meat, these absurd amounts of protein, or made up concepts like priming, which is a bunch of bullshit. So stupid. And people follow that. They're like, oh my God, it's so hard to just keep eating until I'm stuffed. Yeah. Use your glucometer. A lot of people feel that they need more protein to build muscle. They eat too much protein because they're afraid of eating fat, because they're afraid of gaining weight. So they eat protein. Then they become constipated. There's all these problems that come with eating too much protein. Thyroid becomes underactive because you can't get into ketosis. Blood sugar spikes. You start gaining weight eating too much protein because that protein becomes like a candy bar, essentially, with your blood sugar spiking like crazy, and then you crash. And you can develop hypoglycemia with too much protein and not eat carbs at all. So use your glucometer. Now, for men, and of course there's different activity levels, age, muscle, lean mass to fat ratio. There's exercise. So for men, you want to be between a 65 and a 95. You don't need to go over 100 grams of total protein to build muscle, because you need to focus on your hormones like insulin, rather than pounding a bunch of protein down that's going to end up converting into glucose and making you get a little chubby, a little love-handly. Yeah. Remember, the goal is to get into ketosis or survive on carbohydrates, but don't use your protein like it's a carb, because that's a hot mess of an adrenal freak out waiting to happen. For women, your protein should be between a 50 and a 75. If you're very tall and active, maybe an 80. The sweet spot for men is around 85 to 90 grams of protein. The sweet spot for women is around a 65 to 70 grams of total protein. But the glucometer is really going to tell you where your protein should be. Test your blood sugar 2 hours after eating a meal with protein. You can even just eat protein to figure it out. And if your blood sugar is spiking out of a ketogenic range, which is between a 75 and an 83, you're eating too much protein. And if you wake up in the morning and your blood sugar is, let's say, 80, and then you eat a ribeye and test your blood sugar 2 hours later and your blood sugar is 95, that's too high to be in ketosis. 75 to 83, and the ketone should be between a 1.8 and a 3.0. Just use the glucometer. It will tell you everything. You go and you eat that like 8 ounces of meat in one meal, and you test your blood sugar 2 hours later, skyrocket. And that means you can't get into ketosis, and that means you're going to jack up all your systems because you either need to be running on ketones or carbs. And protein does not establish glycogen, it's just blood sugar, so it'll tank your adrenals. Gotta find the sweet spot of everything. Comment below, have you ever used a glucometer to kind of figure out exactly how much protein you need to build muscle and to balance your blood sugar and your total health, or you're optimizing your health? Share this content, because that's how people find my humble channel, because I don't talk about priming and taking iodine drops. By the way, people freaked when I said be careful because you can turn hyperthyroid by taking this Lugos. You need to balance it with selenium. And people are like, this is terrible information. And I'm like, did you not hear me say iodine needs selenium? And if you get sea iodine from sea moss or kelp or seafood, it's much more safe than that factory-made potassium iodide. So I don't have to say it again. But I digress. Comment below. My Instagram is Stephanie Ketogenic. My Facebook fan page is Stephanie the Business Person. I run a course where I cover all 3 diets: keto, carnivore, and low carb, high fat, because some people can't do this one or that one or that one. I also am taking a complete pause on my 30-day challenge because I realized moving from crazy ass California to Texas to Tennessee with a bunch of horses on raw land and taking care of my mother was way more than I bargained for. So once these houses get done, everything's going to come. I will be able to show you how much I eat in a day. And I'm going to do a whole video about eating in a day, what I eat in a day. I will be able to show you how to exercise, show you how not to go in HRTs as you get older, or TRT for guys, how to protect your skin from advanced glycation end product, and the list goes on and on and on. And I'm out. Energy at 57, going on 58. And I'm out, because now I got to edit this. Peace.